Welcome to another episode of the Nashville Dads. This week, we talk about making memories, the passage of time, being in a funk, and calming mechanisms. We hope you enjoy. No, it's I've open conversations with the girls. They'll be like, we're not going to do that. And I'm like, then you're probably going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
So
I love the facial expression of like, it's probably a bad idea if you do that.
You can do that, but then you'll have consequences.
Yeah.
So I don't probably, and whether or not it's very condescending and rude, I'll find out in 10 to 15 years. So anyway.
You're trying your best. That's all you.
Trying my best.
That's all that you can do.
Okay, so I just sent the girls upstairs to play with Barbies, so we will see how long this lasts for. Josh is currently sleeping, and we'll see how long that lasts for. But for how long? Yeah, so anyway, Heather, whenever it's kids' birthdays, she goes through, like, the past year and chronicles it in, like, a book that she does through, like, like Google Photos and stuff like that, where you can make a book out of it.
Oh, okay,
and she'll, like,
cool.
add text to it. So, like, Josh turns 1 on September 2nd. So she's starting to get started on it. So she'll, like, for the first year, or, like, the year 1, she does, like, all right, here's when we got pregnant. Here's what pregnancy was like.
Yeah.
Here's what you were like your first month, second month, third month, and does the full year. Because whenever we start having kids, like, if you ask your parents right now, like, what was I like whenever I was 2 months old?
Yeah.
Your parents would be like, yeah, you were alive. You were cute. I loved you.
Yeah.
And whenever we start having kids, I feel like we did like, oh, what were we like? Because, like,
yeah,
your kids
you
usually,
forget the details.
You do. And your kids usually, whatever your DNA is, like, they take after you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you'll be like, what was I like? Was this normal whenever I was a baby? And your parents are like, you're the third born. Maybe it was I don't really know. So it's kind of like, it's cute for us to reminisce, like, hey, what was our year actually like? What was pregnancy actually like? And if later on in life, they're like, what was it like to be pregnant with us? Like, I feel like we've asked our parents that, like, what was pregnancy like? And they're like, it was good. Yeah. And you're like, oh, yeah, that was like 30 years ago, wasn't it? Yeah. So why would you remember that? So, yeah,
well,
so
that's
she
cool.
does that. It's real cute.
A good way for reflection, in a way.
Very much so.
That's great. That's a good idea.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't do anything really like that. We did have an app when we first found out, or it was an app for me, and it was a dad app.
Yeah.
Where every single week I took a picture of her and then would, like, log.
That's cool.
Like, what happened during that day. Oh, and Devin's going upstairs because the house sounds like it's an earthquake right now.
And we're back. Anyway, so Heather's working on that book right now. And then, you text me like, hey, what time are we recording today? And I was like, oh, yeah, that thing. So, we decided to inject some chaos into the podcast.
Yeah. No, this is great. It gives a little fresh perspective on you, and then a little something different for
you would think
podcast.
Any dad listening to this who has kids that are 4 and 6 is used to hey, do you want to have a normal conversation with any other adult? Yeah, this is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you had an app in which you would document, like, pictures of Ada, you were saying? Sorry.
Oh, it wasn't even pictures of Ada. It was during the pregnancy. Once she was born, I stopped doing it. Yeah. I should have kept going, though. But yeah, no, that's a great idea Heather's doing. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, Heather also set up Gmail accounts for all the kids. So, like, their full name at gmail.com.
Oh, okay.
And whenever we both try to, like, shoot emails over to the email account, so whenever they become an age in which we hand it over to them, they'll have, like, emails throughout the years for our thoughts and stuff.
Cool idea. Yeah. When did you start that?
Once again, as you can tell, Heather's the actual intentional one that exists here. I feel like some point in time with Holly and Magnolia, we did it. So before we had Josh, we were trying to do it.
Okay.
I don't actually remember.
Wasn't sure if it was like a certain age that you started, or was it like right off the bat?
I think Heather was like, oh, let's make sure they have their full name as an email for them. And then we were both like, oh, we could shoot them emails of like, hey, here's a video of you at this age. Here's a picture of you at this age. Look how cute this is.
That is a really cool idea.
Super cute. So,
yeah, that's one I might shoot over to Haley and see what she thinks.
Of course.
That is really cool. I wish I had that as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully it makes them... I always hopefully want to appear... You can hear them giggling in the background. I always want to appear human to my kids. So like, it's interesting as a parent because you want to be like a source of strength and strong and all of that.
Yeah.
But you also want to somehow communicate to them like, hey, I'm also trying to figure this out, and I love you, and I'm hoping to do what's best for you. So I hope by like doing emails or doing these books, it lets our kids into our thought process of like, hey, here's what we thought, here's what we were doing, here's what we were hoping to do, and we're trying our best. So,
and it kind of lets them get to know you a little bit better. Hopefully, from when you were like now, for when you were younger. Because
I hope in like 20 years from now, I hope I'm not the same person. I hope I've changed in some ways. It'll be good.
You've grown, you've learned, you've changed a little bit, but
But like, even if from 5 years from now, like, who were you at 35? I'll be like, I think I know who I was.
Yeah.
If you ask me who I was at 30, I'd be like, I don't know. We just had our second kid. I was trying to figure it out. So versus
it was
like
all a blur.
emails.
I was so tired.
It really is though. So anyway,
that's a great idea and a way to remember for sure. I had a conversation with one of my managers, and his stepson is 17 and a senior in high school.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, I came into his life when he was 9, and it was like a snap of the fingers.
Yeah.
He was like, it is so true that like the years just go by so fast, and your kid sooner or later is just going to be 15.
Yeah.
And snap of the fingers.
It's like it always feels like a cliche, or want to write it off as like a cliche when people are like, it'll go by fast. And now here I'm sitting here like, oh, my son turns 1 in like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And you're here like, oh, my daughter turns 1 in like 4 weeks. And you're like, how did that happen? I'm like, what? He is? Oh, wow. Wait, really?
Yeah.
So
we were just walking this morning and talking about like how it felt 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
She was born.
Yeah. And you're like, is it a good thing or a bad thing that it's that much of a, like, that fast? It's like as if someone, I don't think anyone, hopefully people listening remember VHS tapes.
Yes.
It's, like whenever you'd fast forward to the spot where you wanted the movie to start at, and everything just goes,
yep.
Like, that's what, whenever I'm like, oh, what happened in last year? And now I'm here. All right, I don't know. Okay.
It's a good thing and a bad thing. A good thing just because you're so tired.
Yeah.
You're so exhausted at the very beginning, and you still are, but it's like, I'd say the first couple of months is the hardest to get acclimated.
I think so.
So it's kind of good that goes by fast, because I think you can only take so much mentally.
I think so. I feel like I've had other dads say to me, and I agree with it, for your first kid especially, the moment that feels the most surreal is whenever you get discharged from the hospital, and they're like, yep, you're now responsible for this kid. And you're like, I'm sorry?
Yeah.
What's that? Okay. It's like such an immediate shift of identity that like I think part of it is you're trying to figure out a new human life and how it responds to things and how you can help it, and you're also at the same time figuring out your new identity of like, I'm now a dad, I'm now responsible, like here are the new things I'm responsible for. So like first kid especially, the first 2 to 3 months, there's so many not just physical needs that need to be met, but your entire identity literally shifts. So,
and your stress and anxiety just go out the roof.
It does. So, and you just hope you're doing the right thing, and you're hoping that you're supporting your partner the correct way.
Yeah.
Like, there's
communication is definitely key. To both of you on what is being neglected, so that person knows, okay, I need to step it up.
Step up in this way.
Yep.
Because it's this weird thing of like, I think it's never the most fun conversation to be told you need to step it up, but at the same time, it's not possible for you to know all the ways in which you need to step it up.
Yeah, you're not a mind reader.
You aren't, and you shouldn't be. So you're doing your best, and your partner will probably look at you and say, I need you to give more in this area, and you should just go, all right, I'm needed more. I'll figure it out.
Do my best, yep.
Because I care about meeting your needs more than I care about my own comfort level. So I need to do that instead of whatever I was doing before.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But it is hard to think of it going by so fast.
It is.
And every single time that I think about it, I think of the movie Click.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
And how it almost does feel like just, like you said, fast forward.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, what?
I'm here now.
She's 1?
Yeah.
Okay. And then then a click of the fingers again, and it's going to be she's 5 years old. And,
yep.
Yeah. Oh, man.
It's something worth reflecting, you know?
Yeah. But I'm looking forward to you literally have to just soak up every single memory and just keep it and think back on it. Try to keep it like a steel trap.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. You, I think, you just hope for mental presence, basically. Because, like, your kids will only be however old they are. Yeah, you know, all the cliches of like, oh, your kid will only be this little once, like, but they will be.
Yeah.
Like, Josh has 1 month left of being less than 1 year old.
I know.
And it's like, oh, that's very little. That's a very special time. I hope I capitalized enough on making it special, you know?
Yep.
I think so, but we'll find out.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Ada finally started crawling.
That's fun.
Not this past Friday, but the Friday before.
How different is your house now that she moves around?
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
Like, we're starting to realize, okay, we got to move this now. We got to move that now.
Have I mentioned to you, I feel like people are like, my house is baby-proof. My house isn't baby-proof. And I'm like, no house is baby-proof.
Yeah.
Like, we have, like, outlet covers on every single outlet. And what does Josh normally do? She crawls and jumps on top of Cinnamon. And I'm like, I can't baby-proof the dog. No. I can put the dog outside, but I can't baby-proof the dog. So you feel like you do every single angle, and then you turn around for 1 second, and you're like, oh, okay, the toilet lid was up apparently, and you just stuck your hand in the toilet. What'd you do? I looked away for 20 seconds. That's all I did. I opened up the fridge and said, I need some water, and then I turned around, and your hand was in the toilet. Here we go.
Speaking of toilet, so I drove all the way back from Florida yesterday, and I had to stop at a Burger King use restroom and get something to eat.
Yeah.
And I'm using the restroom, wash my hands. This dad and like 3 boys come in. He's trying to help one. The other one just reaches into the urinal and starts playing with the urinal cake. And I'm just like, oh, man. And he's like, no, don't do that. And I just cringed. I was like, that is so disgusting.
That's so,
But that I'm sure at some point every parent is going to have to deal with something like that.
Pretty much.
And you just have to
cringe so much.
Oh yeah.
You know that dad probably was just like, all right, you take this urinal. No.
Yeah. I'm going to have to hose you down now.
Yeah, basically.
Hose you down with bleach.
Now we leave you at Burger King. That's it.
You're on your own,
We'll pick
kid.
you up in 20 years.
You're on your own. She's getting into things that we never thought like she would get into. But yeah, we've got outlet covers. We've got the gate at the top of the stairs. I guess we're going to have to get one for the bottom.
Yeah.
She hasn't tried to go up the stairs yet, but yeah, it's hilarious. You'll put her down in one spot. You'll turn your back for like 5 seconds, and then you turn back around, and she's in a whole other spot, and you're like, what in the world?
Yeah, okay, cool. This game just changed.
Yep.
A lot.
Yep. But I'm excited. I'm glad that she's progressing. Yeah. I was a little worried hearing everybody else that is around her age, like crawling a month or two ago, and then starting that walking process. And I was like, oh, man, she's not even crawling yet.
Of course.
But that's me.
Comparison's hard.
Yeah.
Comparison's hard.
Comparison, which I should not have been doing, comparing. Should not be jealous or envious
it's
as
hard
well.
Not to, though. I mean, it's sadly a big part of human nature.
Yeah.
Is you see something, you're like, should I be doing this? Should I have that?
Yeah.
And it's like,
should my kid be doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's part of it, sadly.
Yeah. I catch myself and I'm just like, all right, don't.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't.
Yeah. Envy and comparison are like two of the most dangerous things ever.
Yeah.
I feel like, but they're also like the hardest things to avoid ever.
They are. They're so hard. They are so hard.
Well, because you don't know you're doing them until you're like halfway down the road. You're like, oh man, my kid should be doing this, and then you're like, wait, why? And you're like, oh, I should have started with that question.
Yeah.
Why do I think my kid should be doing this?
Cool.
Anyway, let's see here. Trying to capitalize time before the baby wakes up.
What time is?
No, we'll see. I don't know. He's been asleep for like 30 minutes, so.
Oh. How long has his naps been?
Oh, they're anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours.
Okay. So they're sporadic.
Yeah, basically. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Anyway,
has he dropped that one, the nap?
It changes every day.
Oh, yeah.
Some days he does 1 nap. Some days he does 2 naps. Basically, whenever he's been awake for like 3.5 hours, I'm like, cool, I'm going to put you down for a nap. And sometimes he falls asleep. Sometimes he screams for like 20 minutes. And then I grab him. And then I try again like in an hour. So Like the other day, he did 1 nap. And I'm like, I don't like, and other days he's needed 2 naps. Some days he needs 3 naps.
Yeah.
So
when she is with us, with like all day, which is just usually Saturday and Sunday, she'll have 2 naps.
Yeah.
But at daycare, it's usually only 1.
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it?
I mean, I guess just because there's 3 or 4 other kids there.
Yeah.
And their naps are totally different than hers, and she's like, I don't want to take a nap. I want to go play with the rest of the kids. But then sometimes she'll have that 1 nap during daycare, and then when I go and pick her up, she'll be just so exhausted that on the way home she'll fall asleep. Then I'll just put her in her crib, let her sleep for an hour or 2. And then other times she is just ready to go.
Does she talk a lot?
She's talking a lot now.
That's cute. It's so cute, isn't it?
Yep. She's saying mama and dada.
That's cute.
And then for dog, she's going like, I don't even really know. She's trying to say dog, but she's saying it with a B instead of a D.
Bog.
Yeah.
That's cute.
But, yeah. It's cool that she's recognizing the dogs now. Because for a while, she didn't really care for the dogs or even think about the dogs.
Earlier, I let Cinnamon inside while I was holding Josh. Cinnamon, who is our dog.
Yeah.
I don't think I've mentioned that I have a dog also on the podcast before. But I let her inside, and Josh clapped. He clapped for me letting Cinnamon back inside. And I was like, you're a dog person. It was super cute.
That is awesome. That's great. What else has been going on with you?
Oh, man. Let's see. Yeah, school just started.
How's that?
It's nice. I mean, it's, Magnolia started pre-K. Holly started first grade. And so it's back to just Josh and I at home. They get out an hour earlier. So she gets out at an hour earlier than Holly does. So I do like 2 pickups. Which is fine because we live really close to it. But yeah, so far so good. Like whenever if Heather, since she works at home, steps out for lunch, she's not greeted with like 3 kids that are like, "Where have you been?" And she's like, "I stepped out of the guest room and like wasn't asked 20 questions immediately whenever I stepped out." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I think this is our new normal for a while." So a lot calmer, and best of all, I think the girls are at a school where they're actually like learning and like doing new things and stuff. So that's also important too. It's not just like us being chiller at home, like them actually being in a position where they can learn and grow is a pretty big part.
They're actually going to progress. Yes. Learn new things, get more sociable.
Yeah. So I expect it to take me like 2 to 3 weeks before it sinks in that like this is our new life. Like Heather can come downstairs, nurse Josh, eat lunch, and then we go on like a 20-minute walk and she goes back to work and like that's it. Whereas before it was like, okay, I'm going to try to hand you food as a kid ask you 500 questions, hoping that you eat, and then you also need to nurse Josh at the same time, and then you'd like to go for a walk, but then we have to load up 3 kids into strollers, and like, it's just a lot.
So basically calmness instead of chaos.
Pretty much. So, yeah, it's nice. It ain't bad. What about you? What's a good thing going on for you?
I'd say just Ada walking.
Yeah, that's fair. Or crawling.
Or crawling, yeah. I wish you'd walk. But
yeah, she'll get there.
Yeah, she'll get there. She is starting to stand now.
It's so cute.
Like, I'll have to show you a picture. It is hilarious, and I might put it on Instagram. I walk in this morning because she's babbling, and she's just on her knees up on the railing, just smiling away. Just exactly.
It's
and
so
as soon
cute.
as she sees me, she's got that smile, and then the ooh.
I think whenever your kid can stand, you like. I think the personality completely shifts once they can crawl.
Yeah.
Like Josh plays games. Once he started crawling, like on our couch, he'll hide behind it and then pop up. He'll play peekaboo with you, and like he'll notice that it's about to happen. And he gets like a grin on his face, and you're like, "Oh, do you want to play peekaboo?" And he's like, then he hides, and you're like, "Yeah," but before he could crawl, he didn't do that.
Yeah.
So I think crawling or movement just gives so much more personality to a kid.
Is he fully walking now?
No, not yet.
Just kind of.
He pulls up and scoots,
Gotcha.
so he cruises around everything. So he'll walk whenever he needs to.
Yeah.
But he just is very fast and very determined.
Evan's kid George already starting to walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He turns one like in a week. Doesn't he
turned one yesterday, actually.
Nice.
So they Evan and a new dad. That wants to start walking with us. Yeah. They came to the house yesterday while I was gone and just met up there and did the dad walk. Didn't think it was going to happen. It sounded like on the text that no one was available, but I guess Evan and his friend we're able to make it. So, what about you?
Oh man, let's see. I'm trying to think of a kind of math thing from the last couple of weeks. Josh's inconsistent napping does get frustrating some days because it will be like, because I feel like with kid naps, whenever you anticipate that they'll nap is whenever I get the most annoyed. If I'm like, you've been awake for 4 hours, you should be ready for a nap, and then he doesn't sleep, I'm like, but I was gonna like reset the kitchen, like I was gonna reset the house.
I was gonna do something.
I was gonna like I need to clean the toilets, like that. I can do that while you nap. Okay, you're only gonna do one nap today? Oh, I have to reassess and like I have to tell my efficiency monster to slow down and calm it down because I need to take care of you and not other things.
Yeah.
So,
and then sometimes you get that panic or anxiety of, oh crap, I'm not gonna be able to do this.
Yeah.
But you gotta realize, like, okay,
it'll be fine.
It's not his fault. It's not her fault.
Nope. It's all good. Like, you can clean the toilets later. You'll be fine. And if it's this week I was going to mow whenever he napped, and every day I was going to do that. It rained, so like I mowed today, but like by like the grass was so freaking high, it took like twice the amount of time. You know, like whenever you sit on waiting to mow because it keeps raining in your gaps. And then you're like, oh, nope, this was okay.
Yep.
But I didn't want to do this.
I mowed today as well because I had some grass that was like a foot tall, and it was like, ooh, I have not mowed in like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think it was 2 weeks in between mows. And I'm like, oh, that's not good. Oh, here's a question I thought of. Mowing is, I feel like there's always house stuff that you don't want to do, but you know you have to do it anyway. Mowing is that for me. Where like, I'm not like, yay, I get to mow. I'm like, oh man, I have to mow again. Like, sure, I get to put on headphones and like listen to music and stuff, but it's usually like me being like, all right, Heather, have fun with 3 kids while I go do something else that I already would rather not do, but I also don't want to pay someone to do. So
see, that for me is like one of my calming mechanisms.
Yeah, for a lot of people, mowing is like everyone's favorite part of the day. Yeah. For me, I feel like I should have been able to figure it out during the day. I don't know why. It's a silly expectation. We all have stupid expectations of ourselves.
Yeah, everybody's different.
But that's mine, is whenever I'm like, oh, Josh should be able to nap during the day for an hour, and I should be able to mow with the monitor in my pocket, and I know whenever he wakes up, and then I go take care of him.
Yeah.
But it's not reality.
So what is your one thing that you're like, okay, this is what I need to do to like reset, like calm down, to just gather your thoughts?
I feel like, yeah, that's fair. Hopefully it would be just going on a quick walk is normally what it would be. I do a lot of times after Heather falls asleep, I usually just sit there and play video games and listen to audiobooks.
Awesome.
Is mostly what I do.
What video games do you play?
Mostly like single player stuff, or a lot of FIFA. I either play like single player, like
PlayStation
4. So yeah, like I played like I've played a lot of FIFA in the last year or two, like a lot of FIFA. But I've been playing through like there's like a samurai game that came out like a year ago.
Okay,
it's very like Assassin's Creed style. So I've been playing through that slowly. But yeah, like I'll listen through an audiobook. I'm not like I don't get too wrapped up in storylines for video games.
Yeah, so no like Call of Duty or Halo.
No, I don't. No.
Yeah,
I feel like first-person shooters are so brutal, not like as into the people playing them, because I feel like you just talk trash the entire time and get mad if you play it online.
Yes, I used to play. So I have Xbox One. I don't know if there's another one out after that or not, but
I don't know.
Yeah. I haven't played it in probably a year.
Yeah,
but I had Halo, Call of Duty, and yeah, you get frustrated for sure.
You do.
And when I was in college, I played Halo with my friends. Yeah. And you like your anxiety and stress just goes out the roof, and then you just basically start just trash talking people.
You do, or like I'm the type of person where whenever someone starts taking something too seriously, that's a game. I will intentionally do stuff to make them mad because I'm an awful person.
You just keep poking them.
I do, because I'm like, why are you taking this so seriously? Like, you're killing the fun of this game. So once again, awful person.
I have a feeling I would have been that friend.
Probably. Yep.
I'm so competitive.
I'm not competitive. I'm not like I am just very sarcastic. That's. But anyway,
a good trait as well.
Yes, but yeah, I'll do that kind of. I feel like that's whenever my like zone out time, I guess. If I'm healthy, I think a healthier version of myself would do like a walk, but I don't want to leaving Heather alone with 3 kids after I've had a full day. is something I don't like doing to her unless I absolutely need to go out on a walk. Like, I would rather create daily, like, abilities to take a deep breath so that I don't need that. Because Heather literally works a full day. She works a job stressful enough that she can support a family of 5. So, like, to make her go from that world to suddenly, cool, now it's you and 3 kids while I go wander for like 20 to 30 minutes is not, I want to be, not that like that's a bad thing. I want to not need that. I don't want to be dependent on that.
Yeah.
So I try not to be. But are there times whenever I need it? Yeah, there definitely are.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's something that's been meh since we met up last?
I just say my mental state.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Oh man, yeah. That to be fair and true, that's probably what it is. I've just been exhausted and kind of out of it lately. Yeah. You know how like they go, you're a really good father, or you're really good at your work, or you're a little bit of each on each one, and I just feel like right now I've been terrible at both of them.
That's too bad.
But that's just me. I just need to get out of that funk. I'm in a funk.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But yeah, that's probably what it is. I don't know necessarily why. It's just in my head and just can't get out of it. But I'll eventually get out of it.
I mean, I feel I am that way also, where I'm like, oh man, this week just has some funk to it. Like, you know, like, what's up with you this week? It's like, I don't know, but it's not a good one. Yeah. What about next week? It'll probably be better. So it's like this weird balance of like pessimism of like, man, this week's a wash. Yeah. Like, I need this, just move on in the next week. And then also optimism of knowing that it'll get better. I feel like there's a weird like tension there of like, oh man, you don't feel like you're being a good employee or a good worker this week. What about next week? I'll probably be better.
Yep.
What about this week? I'll get through it somehow.
Yeah, and the funny thing is I don't really have a specific thing.
Yeah, it's just a vibe.
It's just a vibe. Yeah, it's a vibe of like, oh man, it just wasn't my week.
I feel like some weeks I just feel like I'm stubbing my toe the entire week. And it's like, why? I don't know. I just feel like you try to start something, it doesn't work out. It just doesn't work. Just I don't know. And what happens next week? Next week will probably be completely different.
Yeah.
So.
That's a good mentality to have.
But it's very exhausting though at the same time. I would much rather have stuff go the way I want it to. So exactly. It's not my natural position. It's a learned position. Devin, why are you getting so mad about this? Because I want it to be different. Cool. You know, things change constantly, right? Yeah, that's the problem.
I'm stubborn. I don't want it to change.
I wanted it to go the way that was predictable.
Exactly. And that's probably what it is. I'm just my stubbornness and things changing and me not wanting to change.
Yeah. But it's hard, though. I think denying any of that is worse, though.
Yeah.
To be like, no, it's not. It's like, nah, man. You have control.
Don't be ignorant.
Sometimes you have control issues. Sometimes you don't. It just depends on the day.
Yeah. But something cool.
Yeah.
We've had a guy reach out to us on Instagram.
Yeah.
So he's an avid listener, but he wants to join the Dad Walk when we go.
Oh, cool.
To Shelby Bottom. So
nice.
That's also pretty cool.
That's really fun.
Shout out to Darren. If you're listening, I'm sure you are.
Hopefully. I'll leave his name in just so you can hear his shout out.
There you go.
That's really cool.
But yeah, so hopefully we can start that up at Shelby Bottoms.
Yeah, hopefully. And I guess this is also the moment to say, if you listen and you follow us on social media and you want to come to a Dad Walk, reach out to us. And hopefully we'll get into a good enough rhythm with it. Whenever it's not so hot, also, will be a lot better for Dad Walk.
Yes. Yeah.
But hopefully we get to a good enough rhythm where we're like, hey man, every Saturday, Shelby Bottom, this park, we can actually like post about it on Instagram. Like, hey, here's the location, here's where we're going.
Exactly. Because Darren reached out on Instagram, and then Justin on Harlan. I think his baby is maybe 5 months or 5 weeks old now.
Oh man.
Maybe 6.
Yeah.
But he's interested. And then Evan's got his friend. And then if we go to Shelby Bottoms, Kurt, one of our friends, said that he'll want to go. He lives out in the nation, so it's not that far away.
That's great.
So yeah, man, I think we can grow this Dad Walk into something big.
That's something you've been genuinely excited about. That was one of your like, man, what's something I hope comes out of this podcast? That was like number 1 or 2.
Yeah, it was.
So
it was to create a community.
Glad.
That's kind of what I wanted.
Yep. All right, I feel like we're on borrowed time with girls being quiet and Josh still being asleep.
Yeah,
so girls I'm going to shut down the episode.
They're up to no good.
They're probably, I don't want to know what their room looks like right now. Like, It's going to be something.
All right.
I've started to do, whenever they're like, we want to watch a show, I'm like, we have to clean up first. And that works out all right.
Well, there you go.
So we'll see. I'm going to go check on that.
Let's wrap this thing up.
We're going to wrap it up. Bye.
See ya.
We really hope you enjoyed that episode. Please make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at the Nashville Dads. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll catch you next time.